Hello everyone and welcome back to Venus. So, um, I did a little bit of a camera. First of all, we have plants, and that means that the room temperature stabilized and we are now producing slowly oxygen. Now, it will be very slow, like this just changed the 100, 100 of the mole, and this is like once every, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, because we only have three furnaces over here, right? Now, they are ready to replant, so I'm gonna do this in a second. I have a plant analyzer also with me, and the code for the grow light is effectively timed with the need for the times to be turned on and turned off for a fan. However, you can see the grow efficiency is 99 and light efficiency is 95. That's a little bit to the fact that this is not 100% solar equivalent. I think it's a little bit less, so this is how it balances. Pressure efficiency for some reason shows 99, even if it's actually in the ideal pressure because it's above 50 kilopascals, but that's fine. I'm gonna say. Um, However, I did mention that potatoes gonna adapt, right? And this is what I meant. You can see the grow efficiency is 127, 128 because the light efficiency is 130%. They don't require, the I think the light intensity for all of them is 100%, but because there is actually more light um, happening for what they expect, they are getting so the longer, the more actually the longer time the light is being lit for longer than they need, they actually benefit from this one, right? So potato actually requires about 1 hour to grow. Those were like in about 40 minutes, and this is just done. They will be following in a minute or two, right? I'm gonna take the ferns and just replant them so I will have in 2 rows. And as I will be extending this grow plus later on, right, the 3 rows over here from the window will be for fern or daga fern if I ever got one. Probably not over here. While the last row over here will be for plants that I will be consuming, so potatoes and possibly soybeans if I get some, right? I'm gonna leave those potatoes to give me actually seeds just for safety. Mm, Now, in this room, not much happened. I moved the bottle filler over here. It's piped and cable up. It's connected to the same pipe. Like this pipe does not have any like pressure regulator. I was thinking about it to add over there. It's just connected pretty much as a single unit, single network, which is absolutely fine. We have in the pipe 23.5 liters. The tank will be like I don't know 100 liters. Keep in mind from the beginning of the game, so for like last 30 something days, we consume 12 liters of water, right? The plants will be very small consumption. So this is like for another 200 days or something, we will be rationing and so on. So I'm not worried about this. And if anything, we're gonna probably find one or another trader soon enough. There is still this bug with the storms. They have been pretty much every time unloading the game. I don't count how many storms I have, and they are just like a bit short, so it's fine. Anyway, I add the tank over here. So this is the nitrogen tank for the off-gassing of the water ice. There is a bit of nitrogen inside it. I'm not planning to use it right now. The room has way more than I needed. And very similarly, there is a tank over here for an oxygen. Obviously, it's empty. Uh, because I didn't turn on this one. I don't even put any automation. This is as it was built. The only thing I replaced those pipes to be insulated. As you can see, I painted all the came over here and it's like, oh wait, hold on, this needs to be also insulated. When I will be putting oxygen over there and cooling it down, obviously this will be, taking the heat out of the room to balance it out, and we don't want that one, right? We want the oxygen to be like cold as -30, -50 centigrade, while don't affect the room. Room needs to be in that 26, 27 area. Now, if you observe the long, icon, right? It's yellow on the load, and it will turn red effectively the first time I'm just open and close the helmet. I was looking at this one, I was like, am I healing or something like this? No, the lungs are, I look in the save, the lungs are damaged to the point that they are on the like tipping point between those two. So when the game loads, it effectively like mark them as yellow icon. Because I'm opening the helmet for a short period of time in you know somewhat not breathable atmosphere. Now there is a little bit of oxygen but not enough to actually like breathe, but the temperature is fine, the pressure is fine, the lungs are not getting damaged as much. I think they don't get damaged because I like open it for like second or less, right? So this is pretty much what I did. I finished bit of the cooling in the back. I might even finish uh, the cooling on for the oxygen over there. I don't think I set up the IC over here. So the sensor needs to be a tank. I think it's labeled. Uh, Tango 2. And there's supposed to be volume pump for O2. Typical O2, right? Oops. Yeah, it's 0 because there is no oxygen in it. Actually, it was supposed to be the other way around. I'm gonna now just turn it out for time being, just to suck it up a little bit. And there you go, it triggered and start cooling down, right? So if you see now in this pipe, it has very little of oxygen, like it's not even 1 kilopascal, and it's cooling down. And I think it's gonna cool down to like minus 30 something. I can't remember what was. Yeah, that's now 0, right? So minus 35. It still cools down a bit further down because of the thermal capacity of the heat exchanger and T-junction, but I think minus 30 is what we're looking for. I'm gonna just push a little bit more oxygen just to not go too low, but we are so far away from any potential liquefaction or whatever that it should be fine. Uh, And keep in mind the tank over there is a separate network, so it every atmosphere tick it balances out back and forth, right? But when we're gonna automate this, effectively later on, we're gonna be sucking out the air, the oxygen from this room. When the oxygen ratio will be something like 0.8, 0.9. Like we need to take account the nitrogen right into it. So nitrogen is almost 30%. So if I did 0.90%, that will never happen due to the fact of the nitrogen. Uh, I might be operating this manually, or I might be just operating if it's above 60%. Just keep it between let's say in around 60, so 65, 55, 65. That should be enough. In this game, obviously, you can breathe when you have with 50 kilopascals. When the oxygen will be 30%, this is when we'll be able to take off our helmet and breathe normally. Power to the base because I saved just after a storm. Then load the game and it loads into another storm and the batteries were dead, right? Not much of a problem, but it annoys me, so I add that one wind turbine over there. It's enough. The solar panels, by them on during like peak hour, they were generating 10 kilowatts. So this now actually generates also 10 kilowatts. So the one wind turbine in storm is equivalent of those. I think there are 20 solar panels over there, right? So that's it. Second thing that happened, and this is to the bug, I found one of the solar panel damaged. It get me curious, so I actually was playing with the save back and forth for quite a bit. Point that I think I have autosave disabled, right? Uh, So to try to figure out what's going on, if there's like any leak or if this doesn't work correctly. No, because it actually hit the storm very quickly. The room temperature over there was um, sort of the same as the world when it's triggered. So there was like a split second, like an atomic almost operation when the weather event starts, but the temperature and pressure of the weather event doesn't kick in, and it gets randomly one or two device damaged, right? Normally when this is closed and there's like during day, it's the room is gonna heat up beyond that point, so that initial heat when the storms comes in should not trigger it. But because I have storm after storm, the solar panels do get damaged. But it was like one during like normal gameplay, one of the solar panels are found damaged, and later on I actually went and the testing, and that was it. Like pretty much, depends on when I gonna load or save. This one, this is what's gonna happen. So we might expect there will be a panel damage. It's not like destroyed; it's just damaged. So you can just the cheesy way and deconstruct it and construct it back, and there you go. Uh, Still protects it, but if this bug gonna persist in the game, might be just start, rebuilding this into, the proper way, right? Proper, this proper way, but like venting the room or whatever. Like I said, over here, this is pretty much finished. So the two cooling loops, there is the oxygen tank, there is the pipe for the room, cable on the back, obviously, so it goes to the two filtration units and the cryo tube over here. And obviously there is the data cable from the tank that's required. So not really much happened off camera. It was more of the waiting game that we are waiting just to start, cool down the room and start, producing oxygen. Um, and we gonna go start slowly doing another thing. One which I do want to do is start building the automated mining rocket somewhere over here. Obviously, this will require a bit of time manipulation, but absolutely fine for me. And yes, I was doing a little bit of trading. I didn't find the pill, but something funny happened. Uh, well, funny, not funny. There was one trader that was looking for coffee mugs. So they are the one that you build in Autolay for like 1 iron. Um, and they were going, for sale for 30 each, and box of them of those was going for something like 200. Uh, it wasn't like huge quantity. There was like maybe 20, 30, on sale, but different colors, so you could just take a paste print and just paint them. Now they don't stack, so you paint one each. But effectively, like the red one that are default one, like let me show you. It's those effectively those last thing I was doing is this coffee mug, right? The default are red one and was like almost 30 reds and then box of reds or two boxes of reds. So I actually did it, and I make for 5 minutes of my printing and just tossing them into the vending machine. I just made more than 1 grand, right? So this is where the money comes from. It was just for selling mugs, and this is like hilarious. Uh, but yeah, like I mentioned, I used to be, I like to be prepared, so I already create like oxygen filler just in case this is gonna run out. I will be able to suck the air from the room, cool it down, and push it in. Yeah, I know I'm supposed to be doing something else, but somehow I was like walking. It's like I can do it. Let me do it. Also, let me paint those. This is set to 6000 kPa. The reason is there is a pipe bend over here. I need to go outside to actually show it. Uh, but like sort of pipe corner, not pipe bend, pipe corner connecting the canister. What's called gas tank storage, canister storage, and the oxygen pipe, right? Uh, this will be pressurizing to 6 megapascal. This bend corner, the pipe, the one pipe segment, right, when I add the canister over here, that's the moment when it actually then equalize pressure between this and this one, right? So pretty much what's gonna happen is it will be resulting 3 sort of kilopascals, 3 megapascals, and then slowly increasing because the pressure drop, right? This process is sort of slow, so over time I'm gonna probably increase this to like maybe 7 or 8, and the thing is I'm gonna drop the tank and then remove it. But later on, I'm planning to pretty much extend this pipe going probably not here. Maybe actually removed and done a little bit differently. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out this one later on, right? And just pulling this to the airlock over there. So if I'm outside, I can actually go and replace the tank. Um, but might just not do it at all. But if that pipe, it won't be a single segment, but much longer. Therefore, equalizing its the whole pipe network, which would be let's say 6 megapascals that's it now, to a tank will be almost instant, right? It's the ratio of a pipe length to whatever is put over there. The other way, I could have a volume pump and PID controller pretty much, and then just insert the tank. It's gonna register it's empty and just pump it to the desired pressure and then shut it down. Probably there will be turbo pump, so I can just drop it and refill it within a couple of seconds. But I'm gonna leave it as like having a dumb system as it is now. We create the that light is weird, but okay, that's some magic. We created or sorry, we produced the rocket rocket manufacturer, right? You don't upgrade it like this is MK2. This is already being built as sort of MK2, from the UI and so on. If you think about this, so you don't. It's not like you create it and then you need to upgrade. Very similar to like electronics printers or all the others. Uh, so what we will need is several things because we'll be building 2 rockets. First rocket will be like a scavenging rocket, and second rocket will be like the mining that we want to do it, right? So all the mining heads will be used later. We'll be using the ice mining because I'm planning to go and do ice mining and bring it down. Predominantly, I want to find an ice, high-speed ice. Also, it's fine, but if you look on the stats, it's consumed I think twice the power for 20% of a speed gain. Um, Plus, it's much more expensive. This one we can easily, create and constantly be creating on our own. This one it requires invar. Again, I still don't have ability to produce invar. I know I should, and it's not difficult. It's just the way I'm, decide to play at the moment. Uh, Probably gonna change this, after we're gonna like start working on rockets. We'll be using the scanning head, right? So we're requiring scanning hand, which is gold and copper. Avionics, each of the rocket requires one, which is electron solder. We have it. Shoot umbilical not now, but later on will be need to have for all the ices that we're gonna bring it. But that's easy to do, create. Fuselage, loads of steel. We're gonna need 3-5 at minimum. Gasket umbilical for actually adding a fuel. Launch mount, it's effectively your sort of launch pad. At the beginning, one, then two. So again, loads of steel. Liquid umbilical, if we'll be using liquid engines, then at some stage later on, yes. Power umbilical, yes, we need, obviously. And engines, right? Each of these engine has different specifications and different way of operating, right? The liquid one obviously use on work on liquid fuel, which is the volatilize an oxidizer, which might be NOS or O2, and pressurized is pretty much the same compounds, but it's not in form of liquid, it is in form of gas. Therefore, it actually is less performant. Pressure fed and pump gas. Pressure fed is effectively you pre-pressurize it and you actually regulate the pressure, while pumped is like sort of a dummy engine. You just connect the pipe and a tank and it constantly pumps itself, right? You might think, oh, this one is better. This is actually the less performant, is your sort of predefined starter engine. It's easier to manage it because you don't need to care about this, but you're gonna consume much more fuel, and you're gonna have much smaller rockets because each of the engine is actually having a weight limits and so on and so forth, right? So we're gonna build our first two rockets, based on actually the gas pumped engine, because it's very easy and it will be effectively an engine and a pipe on top of it and a tank, and off you go. But later on, we'll need to use the pressure fed, which will need to have a logic to regulate the pressures to get better thrust to weight ratio, and ultimately in the end will require pressure of liquid fed to go further destinations, or create self refilling rocket, which pretty much what we'll have. Well, it actually will be not really an easy, because you cannot really filter and split the mixture of the fuel, but you could find a gas. I think we have a gas mining, or that was removed. Yeah, I think that was removed. So no, you can have some refilling rocket, because before the rocketry upgrade you could actually go on gas mining, and effectively that gas would be volatile on oxygen, for example, and a few others. It was very randomly, but you could create very dirty fuel that your rocket could still fly. I don't think you can do any of those right now. But yeah, bottom line, to get the further destinations, the requirement is to have a pump liquid engine, and that is obviously required to have liquid, fuel. Uh, it's doable to do it, and with system of a cooling that we have, like this cooling loop over there, maybe a bit more, bigger, much more expanded, you can like cool it to very low temperatures, right? A few other things what we need is the rocket battery, celestial tracker for the first rocket, data links. This is how you communicate with rockets and manually control it. Fuel tank, obviously. Rocket tower will be required to put the umbilicals. So as you can see, there's plenty of steel needed, and this is what we're gonna actually be doing. We will be pretty much going and getting some steel. So yes, mining.
Oxygen critical.
By the way, right, on the normal difficulty, uh, 3 potatoes are enough to keep you fed, right? Pretty much
Oxygen critical.
baked potato, right? That's more or less halfway staged already. This was already done, and I just consumed this one. So when I'll be consuming this one, this one probably will be already ready for picking. So that should be fine.
Oxygen critical.
Obviously, baked potato food is like normal quality. It's fine. It doesn't allow you to over provision or over consume water, but we rarely, if ever, gonna be filling up this meter. Now, if you wonder where I got this one from, or what I'm planning to do it, I'm planning to put it on a shelf, because, come on, ugh, I got tired of constantly like waiting in this airlock, and I upgrade the vent. We're gonna see how this behaves. I have a trader on Launchpad who wants to buy my extinguisher according to my sales, so I'm just gonna sell that one. I got 600 units of steel, 500 went to the rockety thingy, and 100 went to outlay. Just because I will need to have some frames. I don't need to have a steel one, but that's fine. Yeah, so extinguisher is 200, which is fine. I didn't think I have anything else. Box of corn, repair package now. Bye. So one thing we will be doing will be actually pulling this cable over here to whenever we're gonna put that rocket. I think that rocket will be about here. It will be like in front of or like on this frame, so in between the wind turbine and the batteries. I won't be adding any more wind turbines. You could have few of them, but pretty much currently, like right now it's night and it barely spins. It produced 200 watts, right? So wind energy, it's sort of pointless still in the game because, like, well, it's not pointless, right? But it does not really scale with the planetary pressure. I think I mentioned this one already. Many people think it does. No, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. Went to vending machine. Uh, Interstellar, soy oil. You know what? I'm also gonna buy. It's dirt cheap, and I will be able to make a French fries, which is pretty much like a winner. So one potato, if you bake it, it's 80% of food and medium food quality. One potato, 5 units of oil, it's French fries. I think it's 160 units of food, so twice as much, and it's the best quality, like the high quality of food. Right, let me see if I'm gonna break my net if I'm gonna turn this on. It is faster. Shit. I was thinking to build the big one, like that covers whole ceiling. But no, that's fine. That's okay. I'm happy. No, I didn't plan to. Peter Griffin. No, I have a bad impression of any cartoon, but yeah, I know why it just came to my head. Where is you? And loads of crab inside. You. Great. I'm gonna fix that lung and yeah. It was weird run if I needed to use two pills. Usually I don't use it any, but there was some mistakes made obviously. We're gonna back to you later on. I'm just gonna go over here. Come on. Right. I'm gonna put the oil over here. And yes, if I would grow like corn now, which I could make all of those a corn soup. That's possibly what I should do. And but then I need to have the packaging thingy. I don't want to do that one. Hey, seeds. Those are fast. Seed, seed. I'm not gonna be using seeds. I'm actually gonna be saving them. So what I'm gonna do is I have those three um, hydroponics tray. I'm gonna add here on the side. I'm gonna now take all of this fern. start filling it. And went from 3 to 12 in a very short period of time. And where the pollutants came from? No, I mean, like, what? Paints to release pollutants. I didn't know that. I don't know, it's funny in a game, one of the mods. But we have a different problem. This pipe has a liquid in it because my code didn't work. So, I don't know if I mentioned. I think I did. I put this lamp over here. It's works only when the airlock is cycling, but it helps a bit during night. We'll be working on you in a second. We need copper. We have some steel. We do need copper. We need to go outside. And also we need a few other bits and bobs. Okay, few things. I need to get the chip from outside, fix that code. Otherwise we'll be having very nasty issue in a second. Gonna turn you off, take you, vent you. Good news is if I'm gonna enter over here, it actually gonna vent this room quite quickly, like it's already nil. This is hilarious. I could literally have the one door over there for all intents and purposes. Let me work on this code for a second. So there are two issues in this code, right? One of my doing and one of I think the base game code is broken. So I actually reset R2 even though I was mentioning do not reset those. So this is supposed to be pretty much new variable R3 and R3. But the not doesn't actually work. It's supposed to make 1 0 and 0 1, but for some reason it makes -1. So we're gonna do this the old school. So we're gonna pretty much do subtract from R2 1. So what it does, if this is 1 becomes 0, but if it's 0 it becomes -1, effectively how the not is currently doing. And we're then gonna do absolute abs R3 R3, right? So pretty much not supposed to be those two commands in one, but for some reason returns -1 when I was doing some tests. We're also gonna do sdb so we're gonna write db. db it's where the chip is put. So here is inside the IC housing. Inside the IC housing setting is effectively when you mouse over, it's gonna like display whatever we're gonna write it. So we're gonna write the temperature that is reading over there. Not really needed, just want to do it. Okay, confirm, export, take the chip, put you back in, turn it on, put you up, and you are scanning. At least I know that one. Okay, go away. And we're gonna put that chip back in, and we're gonna start doing a few other bits and bobs that we need to do. Turn off. I'm gonna put you in. Actually, we're gonna turn you in. So we're gonna reset. There we go. The temperature is 157 and it's now rising. And it's supposed to shut down on my 170. Like this already had some liquid, capacity now. It wasn't much, but it's now evaporating slowly. right? But the stress was like, climbing. Now it's going down. Uh, Guess me how I noticed. By hearing one of the pipes when I was doing something else, and then a few other bits and bobs happened, and I actually rolled back the save just a little bit. I don't know, maybe a day. But yeah, now this is, nice shutdown. Battery will be charging very quickly. Since we are here, I know one thing. We will need copper, and we're gonna need it for the rocketry thingy. There is a copper over here, so I'm gonna take it. I then need to take an iron.
Hydration critical.
And there we go, I took an iron. Ugh. No, it's just general machine, not transformers. Oh, hold on, sell. Portable aircon, yes. Portable scrubbles, I'm gonna use it in a second because I know there is one in the vending machine. And cycle, small satellite dish. I could do bigger one, but I don't want to now. Percent part. So in vending machine we do have portable scrubber, right? I'm gonna vend it out. It's the one from the starting gear. Just put you back up. We're gonna take the connector, some pipes, and filter. Ooh, how many filters I did print? One, good. I don't know if I switch it. And we're gonna deal with the pollutants over there, right? Over here, I'm printing the launch mount, and after that, I'm gonna print the basic engine, and we're gonna start, doing a little bit for the rocketry. We not gonna launch in this episode. There'll be a bit of more to prepare. That's for the reason that we will need to get a fuel, and considering to actually build new landing pad, like proper landing pad, like 9x9 next to it, and have like a tank and so on, and just buy some volatiles and oxygen oxalites over there and just create the fuel from those. But that will be also in a place where the target, like big landing pad hangar, will be over there, right? And that rocket will be sort of next to it, more likely opposite side of this launch pad, right? Or over there will be easier for cables and power, but power is sort of easy to transport. We'll see. The alternative is actually like this is where we'll be getting the ice. We're gonna crash it and filter out from this network here on this side and prepare fuel, and then I can just like transport fuel in the tank, which probably will be quicker and a bit more challenging because then I can be stupid and open this vent and kill myself. There is an option. Okay, so we're gonna put the connector over here, right? And some people don't know this, but when you have those portables, right, if you actually put like, I'm gonna put the filter over here already. Here in the room, it will be filtering the atmosphere in the room, but kept whatever is filtered inside, like this internal pressures are gonna rise. In fact, let me just grab this battery and demonstrate, right? If I'm gonna turn it on, the pollutants are going away, right? But they're not going anywhere, like they're being kept over here in the internal tank.
Oxygen critical.
And sort of is fine, but like, when you're doing, for instance, portables for cooling and whatever, what you can do and it should do, it's just get it used to be tank connector named, now it's actually portables connector, because you can use it for mounting tank or mounting portable scrubber or whatever. Pipe it to the external atmosphere, and effectively, if you take this boy above it, you can attach it, and the internal tank will be effectively purged. Well, not purged. It kind of actually balance it out with the external atmosphere. So the internal tank is now connected to the external atmosphere, which is fine, right? We're just gonna vent, that pollutants over here, and then they attached. We're gonna toss it over here and just deconstruct it in this airlock when it's open on the other side or whatever. There are ways of disposing that atmosphere, cheesy and non-cheesy way. One of it will be effectively just pipe everything to this pipe. It will be vacuum and so on, or evict this. But with the portable conditioner or cooler, right, what you can actually do is use it very tricky to heat up furnace. You put this one at externally, right, and you turn it for cooling. So you try to cool the vinyl atmosphere and drop like wireless battery, so it has constantly a charge power. And what we'll be doing is we'll be trying to cool down the world atmosphere by putting the thermal uh, output to this pipe, right? And this is the portable AC. It's very OP and very cheesy, right? For the energy that it will be using, it's like 20 times more powerful than single unit over there. Plus, it doesn't have penalty for pressure, for temperature differences. It's just always like full power. So what you can do, you can cool down the inner atmosphere, and just the temperature inside this pipe will be going to a couple of thousand not Pascal, Kelvins in a matter of minutes, right? Very similarity cooling, the room atmosphere like over here. It's the same thing. You can very quickly cheese it out. Now over here, we're done. Like I'm gonna turn it off. And this is why I like bigger doors. You couldn't push this through composite doors. Right, great. Hey fella, come over here. And guess what? I'm gonna push you over here. I'm gonna drop you. I'm gonna close this. I'm not even gonna go outside. I'm just gonna bye. Here, yeah. No one saw anything. Dealt with it. I'm gonna just leave you temporary over here. I might be again stupid, and you might be useful. Just very possible. Now, next thing is the rocket gas engine. I'm gonna take the mount. We're gonna take the frames over here, those iron sheets, and we need some steel sheets also, if I remember correctly. Steel sheets. Let's just build those. Uh, right. So what I was thinking, right? Originally I was thinking to put the rocket over there, and might still do it. The concept is that over here will be like a hangar, not in this hole, but in the place of that hole, and that's supposed to be a runway. I'm gonna cut that anyway. So if here will be a hangar, here will be some room, like maybe atmospherics or whatever, and the rocket will be over there. I still like that idea. I don't like that idea. Okay, we did print some of the stuff. We are lacking resources, gold over there. But for now, we're gonna just start putting basics. So I did mention we're gonna like pull it from this. Oops, frames. From this frame, so I'm gonna put between turbine and the batteries. Now I have 11 frames because we're gonna do 3x4, and I don't know, maybe somewhere over here. We're looking at this, so See, one of them 3x4, it's empty. Did I miscalculate it? Just quickly. Just didn't put over here. Makes sense. Doing this is the easiest way to get your suit pretty much broken. Okay, we're gonna weld them one time dose. And those over here we're gonna weld fully. So the reason is very simple. I'm gonna just get this now cleared. Reason for this one is that here will be actually our engine blast going down, alright? So I might actually then enclose those, although they will be based somewhere over here with the wall, so that's fine. Well, I don't think there is like really a damage to the frame happening or whatever. Any cables, anything that will be lying over here will be burned. Now, here we'll be having a tower. So we're gonna have like some stuff coming in this direction later on, especially when we be like building this fully. Right, now we have an exhaust tunnel. It's not really needed, but we have one. Right, launch mount is the first thing that goes, and you know, in the old rocket it was 9 3x3, so 9 kinda cells. Now it's also sort of 3x3, but with the one in the middle empty, right? This is where the engine actually will be sitting. There's my welder. We need steel sheets, right? Also, you probably noticed that there is destination codes. The basic, sorry, the default one is your planet, but when we'll be having actually it. Oh, sorry, screwdriver. When we'll be like having our rockets and so on, it will be actually changing, showing the UID or UID actually of the destination codes. Now this is with the rocket update and the planets that I have.
Hydration critical.
Next thing is an engine, and this is the basic engine. It must be placed in a fuel satch. So okay, we are looking for yes. Engine mount. So we need a third fuel satch later on. Finding engine mount. stupid. I knew that we require welding for something. Right, there is an engine mount, and I'm gonna put this one over here, and there will need to come later on, but that's absolutely fine. The engine goes inside, so this is the gas. It will require some additional things like pipes. We are absolutely okay with this. I'm gonna go and jump inside. So here is the power cable and data cable actually, and here is the gas pipe. Right now we'll be having our tower on this direction, so there are a few things I need to put over here. One is the gas umbilical and the other one is power. They cannot be in single line because on the tower they will be actually also needed to be a different line. So what I'm gonna do is try to fit in this direction, and I'm gonna place you on the low end, and I'm gonna place the power. I could actually do it over here, so at least I know they are exactly, one by one, but I'm gonna actually put you in here. No reasons particular, not particular reason, but I'm gonna do it now. Here we need to put the cables somehow. Jetpack for the win, or to the rescue, or whatever you call it. Did I connect them the other way? I think so. God damn it. Yes. Here and you. That's more likely to be true. I don't have a pipe to test that, but I'm gonna test this anyway. In a second. The reason we had 5 tanks is because we want to do medium. Here we go. I'm gonna put it like here on the low end. I think this is absolutely fine. Yeah, this won't be having any pipe regulators or any pressure regulators. This is effectively a dummy connection because the engine gonna be sucking it on its own. We need T-junction over here. We need to have cable going to the engine. So yeah, I'm gonna just jump to the jetpack and try not to kill myself. Yeah, there we go. Here and here. Right, now what we need also is to put the batteries. Now I have battery medium and aux. I'm gonna use both on those. Now the problem is they are charge in, charge out sort of scenario, right? And this is when this cabling is actually a bit broken. So I want to have a charge in going from, so I need to have a charge in coming from this umbilical and charge out to the rest of the system. You can't create the loop, it's gonna explode. So this cable actually needs to be changed. That's absolutely no problem. We're gonna change this later on, but what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this battery over here. That's absolutely fine. Tower is gonna go over here. So it's one tower and the second tower. Right, I'm gonna quickly cut those cables. Now above will be another fuselage. It will be cone-based, and we're gonna put over there the avionics and sensor. Part of the sensor actually goes on this direction. Uh, we're gonna be filling this up with insulated pipes. I think there is environment actually temperature exchange. There will be also another umbilicals like those coming over here just to connect. So the umbilicals are what is charging or piping, the exchanging. I actually read something that exchange the contents, right? So for instance, you could actually pump out the gas from it or liquids or whatever. But this is the beginning of our like rockets. It's tiny, I know. I'm gonna actually, I know I don't need to, but I'm gonna actually weld those frames over here fully from this side. So, because if I remember correctly, there is this plume happening from the engine. It will be forcing over here. There is no visuals as far as I remember, but we're gonna do that, and we're gonna actually finish all of this later, right? No worries. Before I'm gonna like wrap up the building of the rocket, I'm obviously gonna have it open and show it exactly, but that'll be for now. So the rocket's gonna go over here. I most likely actually not gonna build the hangar first. I'm gonna actually build the fuel filtration here. A very crude system of trying to mix those, but definitely will need to have uh, so instead of having a proper like mixture of the fuel, I would be balancing this based on the ammo device I'm gonna buy. So there will be another tank, like maybe brutally over here in this direction, and filtration on this side. So what we're gonna do, it will be filtrating one filtration. It will be filtrating the uh, oxygen and volatiles from this tank to this one, and that will be a dirty mixture. And if I need more, oxide or oxygen, I'm just gonna buy more ice or maybe pipe the oxygen I will have at some stage. But that's it. So this will be leaving a nitrogen because if I remember correctly, um, where we have. Won't buying pure, they're deadly expensive. They are on the market. They're not worth it. We're buying those. So this one is only volatilized. That's good. And oxygen. Pure oxygen. It's not oxygen. It's named. Nitrous oxide. No, no, no. Oxide. It has some nitrogen. So yeah, so for example, I could have unfiltered dirty mix put into the engine directly from the ice, and that still would work. But we're gonna have we're gonna have over here, I mean, we're gonna have atmospherics that will be filtering the oxygen and volatiles over here, and another tank for that dirty mix. And to transport it, we're gonna pretty much use a portable tank that will be just filling over here, going with it over there, and just pumping it back. Very crude, but that will be our beginning of it. If we later on gonna get the second rocket for mining what we need, the resources, we obviously will be gonna build the facilities over here, so they will be refilling themselves. How this is going? Yeah, it's slowly rise, but still didn't hit the threshold. So, um, yeah, that saves lots of energy now.